Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the United Stand. This is the Sunday night show on the Monday night show because last night we got knocked out of the Europa League. I'm sorry, but that's the fact. I'm not over it. I don't think the lads are over it either. We'll be digesting that in a moment and, where we go from here, what the issues are. I think we're probably all going to have different ideas about what that was all about. But just a little bit of topical thing to start off with. We did all say on last Sunday's show that we're 9 out of 10 that Sancho's going to come. I'm going to ask the lads quickly because there is a little bit of an update. And Sky are basically saying that talks are still continuing between Manchester United and Dortmund. However, Sancho won't consider asking to leave until United put in a realistic offer for Sancho, which is going to be about £103 million, which is about 120 million euros. So just very quickly, because I know there's lots we want to talk about tonight. I mean, look, the title of the show, Solskjaer being urged to buy a striker. We're interested to see what people think about that. Where the blame lies, a few ins and outs as well. We'll be talking about that. But starting on you, Saeed, Sancho, do you still feel as confident as you did last week?
No, mate, I have no faith, mate. I'm not gonna lie to you, mate. I'm one of them, me, that I'm looking at more the squad. I'm not even looking at Sancho anymore. If Sancho comes, I'll be happy and I'll be over the moon because he's a top quality player. And he will improve the squad, no doubtedly. You know what I mean? The right hand side needs investment. I think Greenwood is very, very good and he'll become good, but I think for now, I think United needs someone that's ready made now. I think Greenwood will get to that point. But I'm on that notion where I like the idea of Sancho, but I'm just willing. I've said it before. I've said it many times. How much do Man United want to go for Sancho? Is it the priority right now for Man United? I get that the right side needs working on, but there's other positions in that team at 120 million mark. And to all you guys in today, but I'm just thinking 120 million on a player that we could potentially get, but could not potentially get, and then it would hammer the whole squad. Because you're almost bordering line saying to the club, Woodward, you're telling Woodward to go and spend 120 million on Sancho, which for me, justifiably, it costs that much. But we're dilly-dallying around here, and we've not got all the targets available. Last night, we seen a squad that was absolutely bare to the bones. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does not trust the squad. He absolutely doesn't trust him. So what has happened is now is you're getting a player in Sancho, and then you've got the squad. Sancho is not a quick fix for this football club. We looked all right. Greenwood, for me, looks all right on the right side. And I know we need competition over there.
I'll tell you what, though, Saeed, if we'd had Sancho last night, we could have took Rashford off after 5 minutes because that was an obvious sub to make that we didn't do until 85 minutes.
Absolutely. And I understand that. But I just look at it and I said to you, at what cost? And my concern is Man United are looking for a commercial signing. This is a commercial signing, guys. Kid you not. The Woodward and the Glazers, they do this all the time. Pogba, Di Maria, Falcao, all these players, they get them when we haven't got trophies. We've not got a trophy for 3 years, guys. What they're doing is they're getting Sancho. They appease the fans. What happens to Sancho is, it's not enough. Again comes in, you get another style of signing. I'm just looking at it and I'm thinking, I want Sancho, I want him to come, but I'm like, at what cost? And I don't know. For me, I'd rather go squad than Sancho, and I'll be realistic with you guys. I'll be honest.
That's quite an interesting point, Adam, there. I mean, look, Saeed's not in the minority for once. He's saying that, that squad, three or four players over a Sancho. He likes Sancho, but he feels the squad needs more. Are you still confident we're going to do it? Do you still think we should be doing that?
Well, it was interesting to say today the Dortmund's financial figures came out as well. Coincidence. So they are severely down in terms of what they would normally take. Obviously, it's going to be the same for everyone, as we know, but be interesting to see how long they can sort of hold on if they've got other plans of bringing in any money, because Germany have put back their plan to bring fans into the stadiums, as we know. So that could play a key part in it now as well, with Germany changing them plans. But also, we're going on to that squad subject there. I mean, Sancho for 120 million. I mean, let's have a look at the players that we've been linked with. So we're talking what? Akuli Bale, there's 80. Grealish, they want 70. So squad... What squad? You ain't going to buy a squad. You ain't going to buy 4 or 5 players this summer. So I think we can take that completely out of the equation for me, because what teams are going to do is they're going to try and take advantage of United, whoever we go in for. So this is going to be the deal with every player that we go for. It's as simple as that. Grealish, Villa are going to see us, and they're going to see us coming, and they're going to take us for a ride. Same if we go in for Koulibaly, 80 million. Are you joking? We're not going to spend 80 million on a centre-back again. Not after what we did with Harry Maguire. And his age, there's no way, there's no sell-on value, there's nothing in it. And Saeed's just said it there then, commercial signings. If United are looking at commercial signings, Koulibaly does not fit the mould, not at that price tag anyway. So for me, I still go all in on Sancho. If you're going to buy someone, buy a quality player. Lads, we talked about it last time. There isn't much out there that sort of stands out. This is going to come down to scouting now. This is going to come down to scouting and recruitment properly. It's not. It's got to be done right. We need to find someone. There's no one out there now at a cheap price.
Well, I'll give you a cheap price. Gabriel, just say, imagine Gabriel. People want Gabriel. That's 30 million, yeah? Partey release cost, 50 million euros.
It's Arsenal, Napoli are in for Gabriel. Everton have just dropped out for Gabriel. There's a player there that's not right for United. We've got that in Chris Smalling already. We don't want another Gabriel. We don't want these half-hearted players.
I wouldn't go in on Gabriel because he's going to Arsenal, and Arsenal fans will be saying that he's chosen them over us there. But you know, just the start of the show, Ricky. The start of the show is you know, Steve McLaren, Darren Bent, and Paul Ince last night doing what I predicted would happen, turning it on to Martial. But an interesting stat I found today: United have had 46 shots. Their last 46 shots. 21 have been on target, and we've scored 2 goals. We know that he wanted Haaland in the summer. Should we be looking at bringing a striker in this summer? Because I thought Ighalo looked all right that first month. He obviously, you know, we say about Willian, I think he played for a bloody move. He's looked trash since he's come on, and you know, but there seems to be on Martial again.
I think that's a bit harsh, Mark. When you come on as a sub for, in fact, when he brought 2 subs on with 3 minutes to go. I think that was Juan Mata and Dan.
They were ridiculously late, weren't they? Yeah.
Ighalo came on in injury time. Do you imagine the pressure on the lad? He wants to try and get us back in the game. Yeah. I saw your comment that he tried to dribble, or was it whoever said it, doesn't matter. I saw him try and dribble 2 players on the edge of the box when maybe he should have passed it. Give the lad a break. Do you know what I mean? He's come on, he's desperate to try and do something, and not just for the team, but obviously he's never getting a chance anyway. He wants to show what he can do. And I've said time and time again, it's the same for all these players. When they do get a chance, it's normally when there's 5, 6 and 7 changes. I was desperate for us obviously I was desperate for us to get that equaliser. But when Mata and Dan James and Ighalo were all on the pitch, along with Anthony Martial, I was thinking, I'd like to see what these lads can do in half an hour. Playing with Pogba, playing with Bruno Fernandes, playing with Anthony Martial. Do you know what I mean? I was thinking, could be great this for half an hour, and let's see what he can do. Obviously, we were desperate to get that equaliser anyway, which never came. But I think it's harsh. Well, it's more than harsh, criticising these lads who've come on with 3 minutes to go, and then Ighalo in injury time. It really is. He's just desperately trying to make anything work.
Do you not think that reflects on the manager, though, to do that? I mean, look, I don't know. We haven't spoken. I want to get into where I don't know. I don't like the word blame, but I do want to get everyone's sort of and create a conversation on what went wrong last night. But one of the things that people were saying on the watch along was that the subs came too late. And for me, I don't know what your thoughts are, Ricky. The subs for me, they were too late. Fosu Mensah should have come on. We'd be in a final if he brought Fosu Mensah on with half an hour to go, because Williams, for me, was never good. You know, he looked weak throughout. But why do you think Ollie's leaving these subs so late? You know, there's so many issues there. Is it trust?
His substitutions are shocking for me. And I've had lots of people saying to me, you know, the drop-off in standard. Come on, let's be honest here. You know, the front 3 that we're playing with, at the minute, I'm going to excuse Anthony Martial. Almost every good thing that happens comes through him, even the penalties down to his pass. You know, the penalty in the last game, he got dragged down in the box, having just had the keeper make a save. But the goals have completely dried up. You know, I know we got through against the Copenhagen game. It's sort of brushed under the carpet. You know, they're a substandard Premier League team, Copenhagen. Effectively, we drew 0-0 with them. You know what I mean? We drew 0-0 with Copenhagen. We got beat 2-1 by Sevilla. We've scored 1 goal in 2 games against. All right, they're not bad. Sevilla. They'd probably be in the top 10 in the Premier League, maybe even the top 6. They're not bad. But Copenhagen have been near the bottom. So all these players that we're all raving about, and I'm going to name them, obviously Greenwood and Rashford. I'm excusing Martial. I really am. He's the different gravy. And I said this the other day. But I don't care which players we would have picked, along with Martial. I am adamant we still would have scored 1 goal. I did a big long thread about it the other day. The bookies wouldn't have changed their odds. The favourite score for us to get was 1. and the favourite score still would have been 1, whoever the strikers were. Do you know what I mean? And I just think he overrates 2 of the strikers and underrates the bench. I don't think the drop-off is that big. Now, a lot of people will laugh. There'll probably be people in the comments. But when are they getting the chance to show? They never get the chance to play with these players. Mata did. Mata got 10 minutes playing with Anthony Marshall against Lask and made a goal for him straight away. And then he gets 10 minutes with him against Copenhagen and makes another goal or gets the penalty anyway. Mata passed it to Marshall. Marshall got dragged down. So not just Mata, these players, when they get a chance, they need a chance playing with the good players, and they will be okay. I'm convinced of it. Absolutely convinced of it. I'm not saying, look, whichever ones of these players we use, we are not going to overtake City or Liverpool next season. But the same applies if our 2 forwards alongside Marshall are Greenwood and Rashford. We ain't overtaking City and Liverpool with those 2, and we ain't going to overtake City and Liverpool if it's 2 of the others. We'll probably still, no matter which ones we choose, be battling for 4th spot again. So, you know, I've heard, I mentioned to Flex last night, I heard Scholesy on the TV. I've never heard anything so ridiculous. He said we need better players on the bench. We've got to try and buy some. So what he's basically saying, bear in mind we've just drawn 0-0 with Copenhagen and got beat 2-1 by Sevilla. He's sort of saying that we need to buy a better player than Juan Mata or Dan James, but they don't need to be quite as good as Rashford or Greenwood because they're going to be on the bench anyway. How ridiculous is it? You know,
they're legends for what they did on the pitch, but you're never going to get a member of the class of '92 taking a pop at Lingard, Rashford, Brandon Williams, or Greenwood. They're never going to do it.
We need a better player to play somewhere in and around Anthony Marshall, whether it's a striker and Marshall switches to the left, or whether it's Sancho and he plays on the right. You know what I mean? That when you think about their goals, both of their goals last night came from balls across the face of the box. I'm forever talking about us trying to get it wide and get it across. It's the best way to play. When we got beat, we hardly ever lose, do we? We lost to Chelsea. 2 of their goals. Think of the Giroud goal where he got across the face, and then Alonso got one across. I think that ended up an own goal by Maguire. The difficult balls to defend. So we've let 2 in like that against Sevilla. We've let 2 in like that against Chelsea. Our 2 wingers virtually never ever get balls across the face of the box. They're not really wingers, these lads. You know what I mean? Against Rashford, the last time I can remember us getting one from something like that was Rashford smashed one across against Sheffield United, and Marshall got in at the near post.
And he did it in for him, did he? He was in for Bruno Fernandes.
Say that again.
And he was aiming for Bruno Fernandes at that point.
I don't know about that, but it was a decent ball in. It was a good ball in, and Marshall got on the end of it and scored. He did his job. But think of this, though. For whatever reason, because the players do interchange. They do interchange a lot, but they still spend, if you think of our front 3, Greenwood spends 70-75% of the game on the right. Marshall plays centre forward 70% of the time, and Rashford probably 75% of the time left. If you think about that goal, Rashford happened to be on the right, so he was crossing the ball with his right foot. So that's not happening when he's on the left. I can't remember, not just the goal, I can't remember a decent ball in. And I'm talking virtually ever. Name me one. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think the problem you've got is, and it's a very good point, neither Greenwood, I mean, I remember Greenwood had a really good run. All he's got to do is square it to Pogba on the end, and Ollie went mad at him, and he tried to do some worldy thing, and you think, well, that's the innocence of youth, but that could be the difference between getting in the final and not. Rashford doesn't put a cross in, Greenwood doesn't put a cross in, Wan-Bissaka can't put a cross in, and since Luke Shaw's gone, Brandon Williams doesn't put a cross in, so we've got absolutely no width. But just on that, Adam, I mean, last night, I said, I know we missed a lot of chances, but I said it was a clean sheet. I think the back 4 screwed us over. They should have kept a clean sheet. And we did miss chances as well. Do you think we need Darren Bent, very good goal scorer in his time. He's saying we need a Lukaku or a Harry Kane. I mean, I think the Lukaku thing was hilarious. We had him a year ago. Martial creates a lot of things. Lukaku can't do that. But, surely that's the whole point in getting Sancho in, because like Ricky says, we need someone who can put a cross in. And Sancho is in the top 5 across the 5 top European leagues for assists this season. So he gives you that. But what was it that frustrated you about last night, with a day rest to think about it? What did Ollie get it wrong? Was it individuals? Did some people come out with it good, some bad? What how are you feeling about it now?
Well, let's not get it wrong. There was no lack of sort of positives in that game. I thought our midfield was excellent yesterday. Best part about our team was our midfield. I thought Fred played very well. He stole the ball up in their half of the pitch a few times, was great. Yeah, he hasn't got an end product. We talked about it last night, but he still had a great game last night. I thought Pogba and Bruno were excellent. And let's look at it. You said it yourself there, 46 chances in 2 games, and we scored 2 penalties. So it's not like we're not creating anything. It's not like we're not creating it. Yeah, you can say Copenhagen, or we just had 2 goalkeepers there play against us who just had the games of their life in 2 games. So for me, you got to look at it and go, would we even be talking about the defence if we had our shooting boots on? And where is the bigger problem right now? Because the defence let us down, but should we have even been talking about the defence after the amount of chances we missed? Martial's been great, but you've got to score one. It's as simple as that. So that automatically brings in the question of, if that was Aubameyang or a Kane, we're probably 2 or 3-0 up, because they're just goal scorers. They can't do what Martial can do. They can't. Kane can't play like Martial, and it's what you want. It's the way you want to play. It all comes down to how you play in football. You're all talking about width, and we don't have it. We don't have that. If you've got a number 9, you play with width. It's better because the balls are going into the box. You've got players like Harry Kane who feeds on that stuff. That's what Lukaku thrived on. We never played with width with Lukaku. And look, it didn't suit him. Mourinho tried playing a totally different style. And Lukaku thrives on crosses and bullying defenders. Harry Kane is similar. He's got a little bit more to his game. But that's what they thrive on. If we got a number 9 in, and we're talking about bringing a 9 in, would that change anything? Because we're creating plenty through the middle with Martial right now. If you bring Kane on, how are we going to play with any width? How are we going to change the way we play? It all comes down to the tactics at the end of the day and the team that we've got. Yeah, he needs a little bit of time to maybe bring in this style of winger. And if Sancho's on that pitch, there's a different option there, isn't it, completely? Because like you guys said, then Ricky nailed it with the last time a decent ball went in. I think it was Wan-Bissaka against Chelsea when Martial headed it and he scored in the corner. That's the last time I can, off the top of my head, think of a decent ball into the box. It doesn't happen anymore. We've gone from David Moyes cross, hope that someone gets their head on it, to becoming a creative team, but we just don't have the right mentality when it comes to the bigger knockout games. And that's proven with the semi-finals that we've had and failed in this season. It's all about, can you handle it on the night? And none of our front line did on the night, as well as certain players played in link-up play. At the end of the day, no one scored a goal. Someone's got to put the ball in the back of the net. It's criminal how you have that many chances and don't score one. And yeah, you can say the keeper made some saves, but nearly every single shot was at him, wasn't it? Let's be fair. It was all at him. Even the ones that were from long distance seemed to go right down his throat. And everyone can say, look at the amount of shots we've had on target. The keepers weren't pulling out worldy saves. We were pulling out routine saves. It was right down the throat every single time. So it's how you want to look at the game. The defence let us down, 100%. But should we have even been talking about the defence? Because we should have been 3 or 4-0 up in that early stages of the second half for the amount that we created. And then you've got to ask yourself, right, we've not got them chances. We've not put them away. Where the hell did the mentality go after that spell? Because we disappeared off the face of the pitch. And that is the biggest worry. Again, it's like, oh, we've not done it in this spell. What happens next? It would usually be a manager making a change just to say, right, that spell of the game where we was well on top, we've not done anything. Let's try and change it now. Let's bring one of the subs on and bring a bit of a different dimension to the game. It didn't, and we waited too late, and then we were just desperate in the end. And there was no chance that any of them players coming on could have impacted it. We did the player ratings last night, and we just went 5s all the way through because they didn't even have a chance to get a rating. It was that poor. It's unfair on them, but ultimately, these are the same players that have been here now for a few years, like the Matters. Martial's had a good stint now, and we're not really pulling up trees with these players. There's got to be a way to play these players. There's got to be someone who can figure out how to get the right system out of these players that we've got, because before you know it, Matters going to be gone. How long is it going to be before Martial gets his hands on a Premier League medal? Is he ever? Because we've got to spend money. And like we said at the start of the show, it doesn't look like there's a lot to spend, and everyone is going to take us for a ride when we come knocking, like they are doing now. We've made ourselves this problem, and it's going to take a long time to get out of it and get back up there challenging again. For me, it goes a lot deeper than a few missed chances for me, this one.
Saeed, I disagree with Adam on that, because I've got to stand by with what I said, and this is the great thing, you're always going to get a different opinion. But what really still irritates me is that I said it in the preview, Sevilla are a good footballing side, but they're toothless up front. And apart from the defensive mistakes, we did miss chances, but we should have won 1-0. We should have won off the penalty, should have won the game, because we should not have conceded even one of those goals. I thought defensively it was shocking. And, you know, Harry Maguire came out of the game and put his hand up to that. And he also said we need to take our chances. I understand that. But for me, I thought that was, I don't even think it was Sunday pub football defending. I thought it was pub car park after 10 pints defending. I thought it was an embarrassment.
It was all summed up by that Bruno and Lindelof rant.
Yeah, and he's right.
Summed up what you're saying there.
Absolutely right. Bruno was spot on for that, because it's only I banged the table and stood up when we conceded the second one. I thought it's the worst time to concede with 10 minutes to go, because Sevilla, people are like, oh, where's the big chance for United to get an equaliser? I thought, you don't know Sevilla. They're going to sit back and soak us up now, and we couldn't break that down in 10 minutes. So what's your thought on that, Saeed? Yeah. Because you're a big fan of Harry Maguire, and for me, he should never wear the armband again. He's just not he ain't a captain. He can't organise that back four. He can't.
I think nobody can organise back four. The back four are awful anyway. I think we need heavily investment. I just want to touch on a point with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer before I touch on the back four. I think the bottom line is I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does have a plan B, and that's a stark reality. I think what everyone's summing up right now, I think Ole does not have a plan B. Ricky mentioned the substitutions perfectly. For me, you go on the manager for Sevilla, Laportu, yeah? He bought on Vasquez. Is he better than Mata? Probably not. Frank de Jong, is he any better than Igalo? He failed at Newcastle. But what he does is you've got to trust the players. And what the manager's done for me, I understand there's not quality on the bench, but Juan Mata can maybe find one key pass. You know what I mean? McTominay, can you give him instructions to say, you know what? I need the energy in the field to press on forward. Igalo, what we're going to do is we're going to play 4-4-2. Maybe Martial and what's it called? And Igalo stay up top. You've got to do something. Has Ole got the man management? Has he got the tactical nous to change things around? That's my worry. And I've always said it for me. There was a moment where we were on top, and then I tweeted it out. I said, next 15 minutes, Sevilla are going to get on top here. What's the next step? And for me, we didn't have a transition to say, you know what? Let's just sit back here. Let's just soak the pressure in. We've got extra time. We've got a lot of players to bring on. Let's go from there. But that's my own issue. And I just feel like sometimes you've got to sub. You've got to use them. For me, I don't care the quality. Sometimes you've got to use them. And yes, Mata is not good. Is probably not the key answer. Daniel James, for me, yes, he's not got his qualities. But Daniel James, for a quarter of the season, was bringing in goals to Rashford and Martial on a plate for them. I look at the game against Norwich where he went in behind and gave it on a plate for Rashford. That was quality for me. The game against Man City, for me, he stretched Otamendi's defence. The game against Chelsea, for me, I thought it was pivotal for that away win, 2-0 away win. There are qualities with these players, but what the manager has to do for me, he has to get the best out of them. And for me, he's not getting the best out of the squad. Maybe the first 11, he's getting the best out of them, but the whole squad, for me, he's not getting the rest out of them. You're talking about Bradley Williams and Mark, yeah? But for me, Luke Shaw is injury prone. What do you do then? You need to go get a left back this summer. Centre-backs this summer. Lindelof, I've always argued about Lindelof. But what Wan-Bissaka has to do, people have not been talking about Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka has come on the outside of him and say, listen, I'm going to tuck in, we're going to go tuck in together, and I'm going to clear you up. There's no communication. Wan-Bissaka, I love the guy, yeah? But what he does is he walks around for me. No communication. When there's a foul being given, it's almost as if he's not bothered. I'm like, you're not bothered about someone just foul. There was a foul there, and it was harshly given. Are you not bothered about it? It's almost as if he's happy to be here. I want you to be fighting. There's a lot of fighters in the team. Lindelof, he looks a bit soft. He played all right yesterday, but is he that kind of player that's going to say, you know what, I'm going to be here, I'm going to show fight? Harry Maguire, I still believe he's a leader, but it's just a calamity of errors, and I just feel like, you know what, we need major investment in the back line. We're talking about attackers here. I think we need another right back to go maybe alongside Wan-Bissaka, another left back. I think we need about 2 centre-backs, I really do. Because what happens is Harry Maguire gets injured. Lindelof and Bailly, you're going to trust Lindelof Bailly. Bailly's injury prone. Then you've got Rojo, Small. Small is not going to be here. He's going to be on another club. We need 2 centre-backs. I say go get Gabriel and Koulibaly, both of them. Go get both, mate, because We need a lot of investment. We're talking about the forward line. I think we're blessed in the forward line. I really do. What we need to sort out is the kind of the diamond, the kind of the midfield base and the defense. Sort them out, then you grow into the attack. But yeah, it's not good enough.
Ricky, what do you think? You know, I mean, I think we got the Champions League football. That's good. We finished third. That was good. The Europa League has been a major disappointment when the pressure wasn't really on. But you know, we were talking just before we came on air, and I'm still disappointed about this because we haven't had a loss like this before for a while, where you're gutted because you know you should have won. And actually, I thought we played quite well in parts. Where do you feel that the big area of improvement needs to be next season? Not necessarily even signings, but what is it about putting chances away, or are you more concerned about the defense? I mean, did you think Fred played well? Do you think Matic is a big player that you really like? Where do you think United, or was it just one of those days yesterday and we consistently next season we will be able to compete in the Champions League and for the top three?
It was just one of those days. There was enough chances there, like you say. I mean, you mentioned Matic or Fred. I just think Matic gives us more control. A lot of people don't grasp. But some people come at you and say Matic couldn't have stopped that and Matic couldn't have stopped that goal. If somebody else plays, everything just changes. Those they might not even get the ball to the person who puts the cross in. It just changes. We probably keep the ball better. We probably put more pressure on those teams. Whether it's a coincidence or not, I said this to somebody today. Whether it's a coincidence or not, it doesn't leave Matic out a lot. He brought him on as a sub against Spurs, and we equalised. He brought him on as a sub against Norwich when we were struggling 1-1, and we won. He brought him even on as a sub against Copenhagen when we were drawing, and we won. I mean, there's just too many coincidences. Even if it's got nothing to do with the actual goals, it gives us more control of a football game. And I thought Ollie had appreciated this. He was in the team all the time leading up to lockdown when we beat City, when we beat Chelsea away. We do, for whatever, I can see Saeed shaking his head.
No, I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't think Fred was the reason we lost last night. He was brilliant.
I'm not saying Fred didn't play well. He played perfectly well.
But then how does Matic offer something then?
Team, it's like against Crystal Palace. He was left out against Crystal Palace. Saeed might disagree just for the sake of it, but 99% of people think that we started playing better when we brought him on against Crystal Palace. Do you know what I mean? We just do play better. In my people always say it's a fact when really it's an opinion, but in my opinion, it's a fact that we do play better when Matic plays. So I was amazed that he didn't play him.
But look, I thought that was the best opposition we've played against, and that was our best performance we've had in a few weeks. That for me, in the way we played, I understand where Ricky's coming. I was surprised when Matic wasn't in the team, but I don't think Matic would have changed how we played last night if he was playing instead of Fred, because Fred was. He had a good game. Just hasn't got an end product when he gets into the final third.
Perfectly good game. Matic brings a different type of control to the game. He really, really does.
So that's why
Matic isn't much different. I swear to God. Like, I think we all agree that Matic has been playing well in, post lockdown. Just before lockdown, he was in the team that was going unbeaten, which we were all so proud of. We were going unbeaten all the time. He was playing all the time in those games. Now, it's the same Nemanja Matic that's won 2 league title medals. It really is. Now, he's won those league title medals because he's such a quality footballer, and the qualities that he brings to a team are not easily discernible. You don't see it. People don't understand it, if I'm honest. They don't see the qualities that he brings to a team. He's got 2 league title medals, the man, and he's still the same person. He's still the same player. He's only 31.
32.
He's just a better player. If Fred would have been playing for Chelsea instead of Matic in those 2 seasons, Chelsea wouldn't have won the title. I'm telling you, they wouldn't.
Nah, that's a bit of a stretch. A bit of a stretch, that one.
I understand it's a stretch, but it's how he plays the game. I was speaking to a Chelsea fan the other day who said he remembers going to the Etihad, when they had Toure playing at the top of his game, and Matic just controlled the match and they beat him 3-1. That's never happening for Fred throughout his career. It ain't happening.
You know what? In fairness, I thought Fred played well last night. But I do get what Ricky's saying. There were times when Fred left the defence a bit exposed. It didn't matter. It's not why we lost. I was surprised they didn't pick Matic because I thought Matic, is the better centre defensive midfield. But I was encouraged by Fred last night because I think Fred's never going to drop in there and do that job that he's not really done for us consistently well, until you start letting him use it. And I was encouraged by the fact that it wasn't McTominay, who clearly isn't that player. No. So, for me, the problem last night was definitely the defence, and I thought the midfield three did well.
They did do well, and it's too late after the event now. But if I'd have said to you before the event, they've made a mistake here, they're playing Fred, they're not playing Matic, we'll probably get beat. That's what I would have said to you if we would have spoke last night. And now I'd be sat here saying, I told you.
The way Sevilla played, it suited Fred to play. It didn't suit Matic to play in there.
We'll never agree, will we? We'll never agree. Well, it's actually a fact that we had, even points-wise, we're a better team when Matic plays. Do you know we've taken more points per game in the league games that Matic has played than we have in the league games that Bruno's played since Bruno signed? But Matic didn't start against Wolves when we drew. He didn't start against Spurs when we drew. We're taking more points from the games that Matic plays in than we are from the games that Bruno plays in, let alone Fred.
Yeah, but Bruno's the one winning us the points, isn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's still there. It's still there. It's still important.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think Matic is a really important player for United, and for me, it's the defence. It doesn't matter
one bit about last night, does it? It wouldn't have made any difference last night, especially we're talking about last night. It's no good bringing up everything else because at the end of the day, it comes down to the semi-final on a big occasion, and we failed.
Well, yeah, you're right. It's three semi-finals in a row.
Failed on big occasions constantly. This is the problem we've got. That was the best team that we've played over the last 5 weeks.
So what I said that to Ricky. What needs to change? Is it three unlucky semi-finals and we're 30 points off Liverpool, but next year it's going to be fine, or is it actually 3 or 4 players need to be kicked out of that team, 3 or 4 need to come in? Is it a mentality? Is it a new captain? Is it a new philosophy? What is it? Because my concern this morning.
Yeah, the occasion is a big thing because look at the teams that we played. There's only Seville who really had a voodoo on us, and that was just with the Mourinho farcical episode. Look, we got beaten one semi-final by City. We beat him in one of the games, and we beat him 2 other times in the season as well. But on the big occasion, when it came down to a night in Manchester, cold night, and we needed to get a foot in the door, we failed big time. We was out of the tie after 45 minutes. We failed. Chelsea, how many times have we beat Chelsea this season? There's no reason for these players to be thinking or fearing these teams that we're playing against, but the occasion seems to have got on top of them every single time. And that's my concern. It's like when the big games come calling, are we going to do this every time? They have to change. Something has to change mentally inside them because there's no reason why we should be losing to the teams that we lost against in them semi-finals. We've beat them. Sevilla were the best team that we've come up against in the last 5 weeks, I think, and it was a good test and a good sort of guide on where we're actually up to in terms of improvement. And you know what? It's probably the best football that we've played in large parts of that game last night, but we ended up losing. It's weird because I said it a minute ago. My biggest issue was the fact that we had that 15-minute spell where we looked great, and then absolutely nothing happened after that. We just disappeared off. It was like, oh, we failed. We've had our moment and that's it. Instead of going again and like finding that second wind, it was like, where's everything gone? Why is it just dropped off so dramatically like that? That's all in the head. And that's the fear. That is the ultimate fear for me going forward with these players because, like we've said, a lot of them have been with us now for a few years. And we're starting to see these players, or you could say that on paper, like Ricky says there, you talk about the games we've won, the points we've won with certain players playing, but look at the big points, the big stats. How far off have we been from the top of the league in all this time these players have been here? You know what I mean? None of them is working. So where is the issue? Is it in the management side of it, or are the players simply just not got it in their heads? Now the expectations are creeping up again. that they can handle wearing that United shirt and put teams to bed, teams we should be beating. Let's not get it wrong. We're not playing against the caliber of teams that like Bayern Munich, Barcelona's, Real Madrid's. You know what I mean? We're not playing against these guys. This is all right teams we're playing against in terms of Chelsea and Seville. This is sort of like just on our sort of level at the moment, I would say. So when it comes to next season and we've not invested, expect a lot more disappointment, because this team isn't going to just change over a pre-season. And that pre-season's what, 3 weeks? This is still going to be fresh in their minds going right into the start of next season. So where are the heads at? Ollie's got a lot of work to do. And that for me, I've always said it, I've always gone on about it. There's a mentality. Ricky touched on Matic. He's the most experienced player and he's won more than anyone else in that team. There's a mentality there in that man. He plays his way, but he's part of a winning team. Without the team, that player might as well not bother, because as well as he does play, like a Martial's done, Bruno's done, the mentality, the winning mentality, unless everyone else is on that page and has that mindset, and that's why the arguments come out from Bruno. Bruno's expectations of the defence. It's like Roy Keane going in at Tim Howard. That's the level. That's what they're thinking as winners.
Yeah, I like that.
And if you can't keep up with it, then that's what happens. What happened with Lindelof last night, and it's going to keep happening. It's something. It's hard because we have got some good players there, but in key areas, we just seem to be lacking that little bit, that next level, and that's what the concern is.
I tell you what, I loved that from Bruno, because, as I said, when that goal went in on the watch, I banged the table and I stood up and I was angry. If I'd have been on the pitch, I would have done exactly what Bruno would have said. I would have gone,
same.
How have they got one forward and 3 defenders and a left back should be stopping the cross, and they've knocked us out? Because Bruno knew 10 minutes to go, that goal's probably kicked us out. We ain't probably going to get back from that. And that, to me, Saeed, is the issue with this team. And it's been frustrating me for years. There ain't enough leaders on that team. Forget the captain's armband for a minute. The captain should be doing more for me. But there isn't a mentality in that team. Bruno's got it. Pogba's got it when he wants to have it. Not sure Martial, Rashford, Greenwood have got it.
No.
Wan-Bissaka's not got it. You've touched on it. De Gea ain't got it.
No.
I don't think Maguire's got it. I don't think Lindelof's got it. I don't think Brandon Williams or Luke Shaw have got it. And some of those players I'm naming are good players, but you need 4 or 5 you need 4 or 5 Bruno mentalities. That's what you need. These players who are going, what are you doing? Because Lindelof, when he got the shit last night, he starts coming back, and you think, well, if you had that mentality in the first place, you wouldn't get shouted at,
Yeah, I think it's all too nicey. I just feel like, I see a lot of them saying, "Oh, ready for the game." Can't wait for the players. I look at the training ground. I don't know, man. It's just, for me, it's too nicey, and I don't know whether
our fan base celebrate that, don't they? They go, "Oh, look at my guy with such and such, high-fiving and having a laugh." And actually, I don't think Roy Keane and Vidic were doing that. It's a competitive sport.
And that's the reality. I feel that's reality. And it goes down to the coaching level. And it goes down to even the whole club. I just think we're not serious. We're not serious football club. For me, you don't get Michael Carrick as assistant manager or whatever he is. You don't get him. Period. Yeah, I love Michael Carrick, but he's not offering one bit to the training ground. Kieran McKenna, what has he done? What has he done? Seriously, he's done a few coaching levels at under 18 levels. Is he credible to be Man United's assistant coach? Not good enough. Mike Phelan, is an era of football where Sir Ferguson knew the time when it was to come. He left at a right time when the football was changing, and he knew, right, that's my time done. Mike Phelan came back from the old time. Mike Phelan absolutely offers nothing. I don't see him on the training ground doing anything. I don't see him on the touchline trying to dictate anything. For me, it's all good vibes. It's all nicey. And until that changes, I've always talked about the mentality of the players. No one cares enough. No one's wanted to win anything. When's the last time anyone won anything? This squad has not won a trophy, guys. Kid you not, for the last 3 years. Since Mourinho left, I think it's Mourinho that won the European trophy, the Europa League. From then onwards, nobody's won anything, and that's the bottom line. Pogba now is probably looking at it thinking, bloody hell, mate, when am I ever going to win a trophy? He's probably looking at his contract now thinking, you know what, let me look at that again. I'm just looking at the bottom line. Martial still hasn't won any major trophies that you would consider. We have got a team here that I'm talking about that is absolutely bare to the bones of mentality, mate. That's why I'm saying maybe we go buy experienced players. I don't know. Maybe you go buy a Partey who's won trophies here and there at Atletico Madrid. Maybe you go and get Koulibaly because he knows the winning mentality. That's the problem. We need winning mentality in this football club. We don't need players that are, you know what, they've just about made it. We need players that can come in here, do a job for 2 or 3 years, then we go again, we buy again for the next 2 or 3 years. That's what top clubs do. But we're just dilly-dallying around thinking, right, Sancho, 120 million. We need players that can come in here, effectively get us trophies. I don't want top 4, man. We don't want to become an Arsenal. I don't want to become Arsenal who rave about top 4 and about how they're winning the FA Cup. I don't want that, mate. I want to see them winning the top trophies, becoming number 1, number 2, not becoming 6, 7, or 8, man. That's not Man United Football Club, man. Man United Football Club should be at the top of that accolade. Elite football club, compete with the likes of Bayern Munich, Barcelona. That's where we should be at. And I know it's going to take time, but I just look at the board here. They're dilly-dallying around with Sancho, yeah? When there's a job to do. There's a job to do to get centre defence and mid, centre back, left back, attacking midfielder and Grealish. There's a job to do. But they're here messing about with a commercial signing just to get a few checks for Ed Woodward. So Ed Woodward can say, look at here. Look at the Glazers. I've got Sancho here for you. Look, he'll get all you this shirts and whatnot. This is not what we want to be, man. And I had enough, mate. I just want United to be the top, mate. And all this messing around, yeah, and all these coaches that are not good enough, mate. I'm only going to Solskjaer at least have a word with the board and say, listen, I want an assistant manager that's going to help me and help me tactically. Because I'm not good enough for the job as it is. So let some help me out. But he's got to ask for it. He can't just be nice and say, oh, I'm good enough, I can do it. Go ask for help. If you need help, go ask for it, man.
So
man.
It leads into a good point because I wanted to ask this towards the end of the show. Let's go through that 11 last night and honestly, hand on heart, are these players that are going to make us close a gap on Man City? Should they be part of our future? We'll go around. Starting off with you, Ricky. De Gea, is he the man?
I'll just about say yeah. I'm so despondent, Mark. I can't tell you. Do you know what I mean? Just about, I'd say yeah.
Bloody hell, man.
He is making a few too many errors, but he's been a great keeper in his time. Hopefully, he can just turn it back round again.
Yeah, and I get that. I'm still really disappointed, and I hope that, picking up on what the lads have said, I hope that the players are not just sat on a plane somewhere thinking I've got a couple of weeks off, because I'm mightily pissed off that we're not in the final, and I will be for a while. I am really pissed off, and I do think I agree with what they've said that we do lack a mentality. And look, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Andy Robertson, Jordan Henderson, Wijnaldum, they're decent players, but they've also got a very, very good mentality. Anyway, De Gea, Adam, is he still the man for the goalkeeper?
No, he's not. He's not. It was great for us when we were fighting in 4th and 5th, which is his level, because that's what you're going to get at teams that consistently let chances go. And he looks like the best player and gets voted top player 4 years in a row. Thank you very much for your service. He has been outstanding for us. But look, while he's been there, we've been nowhere near the top. You know what I mean? And you can say he's better players around him. He may be better, but we're finding that now when he's not got as much to do, he's letting us down even more. So, and you know what? I'm looking at Dean Henderson committing his future to trying to battle De Gea for the future. I think that is the only thing that's going to save De Gea, I think. A player that comes in, it isn't going to be like Romero, always happy to be a squad player. He's got a player coming in now who's going to want to take his place. I think this is his last chance. I think the Henderson could be a saviour for De Gea in a way. But going off what I'm seeing now and what I've seen in the past, I don't think we're going to win the league with De Gea. I don't think he's going to lift the Premier League title again.
Saeed?
I'm just going to keep it just about. I just think Dean Henderson, yes, he's done at Sheffield United, but we're talking about the big boys here. One mistake, everyone's scrutinising you. Has he got the mentality? I'm not sure. I'm just about keeping De Gea, just about.
He wasn't really tested last night, was he? Couldn't have done anything on the goals.
No.
Wan-Bissaka, Saeed, we'll start with you this one. Wan-Bissaka.
Ricky's already gone. Wan-Bissaka, you know what, mate? Flex was telling me that, you know what I mean, he'd probably find another solution for Wan-Bissaka, but I don't know. I just feel like people have been a bit harsh with him. I think it needs another more season, but it needs competition. It needs competition, mate. And if it means buying another right back, if it means Bradley Williams going on that side or Dallo or whatnot, has to be done, because it's not looking good at the minute. And he needs a break, mate. He needs a break. So yeah, I keep him. His quality's there.
Ricky, Wan-Bissaka?
I heard one of the lads, can't remember who it was, said that what to win the league. If you're asking these questions to win the league, that's
where we want to go, isn't it? Because ultimately, you can say win the league. You could say win the league, win the Europa League. We got knocked out last night.
Yeah, we can't win the league with hardly any of these players. I'm afraid. But no, Wan-Bissaka, no.
Adam?
I do. First year, it's hard to judge a player who's in his first year. First three quarters, of the season, he's been superb for us. He's been brilliant defensively. But again, my worry with Wan-Bissaka, I said it last night, is going forward. Modern day fullback, you need to have a little bit more. He's shown signs, like I said, cross for Martial for the header against Chelsea. He set one up against, I think it was Brighton and Sheffield earlier on. I thought maybe we're seeing a little bit more, but then it's like, again, I said it before, they're just dropping off completely, and I don't understand how it just goes like that. It's like everything they forget how to play. It's crazy, it's scary, and I'm clinging on to Wan-Bissaka. I still think there's more in that man. I do think there's more in him going forward.
Lindelof for you, Adam. You can start this one.
No, definitely not.
Well, we do that as a pair. Lindelof and Maguire, are either of them good enough?
I think Maguire with another player next to him is a better defender, but him and Lindelof are very, very similar, and it's not working. The combination has not helped either of them. But if I had to choose a defender out of them, I would pick Maguire. Lindelof, I'm sorry to say, he's just not. He's not. His moments like last night show big occasions again, and that's where it's going to let us down when we need him the most.
Saeed, Lindelof and Maguire, either of them good enough? I know I'm not going to be shocked here, I don't think.
Lindelof for me is probably going to be the one that I take out. I just think I said it before. I said it at Sheffield United game. And people are laughing at me saying, "Oh, it's just not good enough." And I just feel like, his time's up now. It's been here 3 years now. I think it's been here 3 years now, and it's still not showing any improvement. Yes, it's good when you play the likes of Bournemouth, Brighton. Them kind of teams. But when you know about the big boys and when it counts, not good enough. So yeah, he's out.
Ricky, Lindelof and Maguire. Do you think either of them are good enough?
Not to win a league title, no, I don't.
What, Maguire as well?
No, not to win a league title. No, definitely not.
I think if Maguire was next to a Laporte or Maguire was next to a Van Dijk, he would win a title. If
you could transfer one of these players straight into Liverpool's team so that he was playing with all of that team, you would get away. Liverpool would win the league if Maguire was playing next to Van Dijk. But that's not.
I think that's where we're seeing with Bissaka and Maguire only having one season.
Virtually every player, they've won it by about 20 points.
Not after one season, no. One season. Some of the Liverpool players took a while to get into the stride, didn't they?
Yeah, I understand that, but we're talking about our players. All I'm saying.
That's why I'm saying Bissaka and Maguire after one season.
Our players are not going to end up playing with a team of that quality. You could transfer almost any one of our players into that team, and they probably would win the league, but they ain't going to end up in a team like that.
Well, I wouldn't have said Henderson and Henderson, Milner, Robinson when he came in at the time. They weren't world-class players, but they turned into it with time and a structure and a way of playing. So one season in, I think that's where it's different with Bissaka and Maguire for me, just because they haven't had time like a few of the other players have. I think that's the only reason I'm sort of swaying a little bit on it.
I like Maguire. I think next season's going to be a big season for him. But what I would say, I've not really heard anybody say it, is we spent £80 million for one of the best players in the air, and his free kicks and corners are shit. He should have scored a lot more goals. We bought him for that, and he's not done enough of that. So it's a big season next season with him. Luke Shaw didn't play last night, so I don't have to get into an argument. Williams, we'll start with you, Ricky. Brandon Williams, is he really a player for Manchester United?
He's a backup player. He's not going to be. If you want to win a league title, no, he's not good enough.
Adam?
Not right now. He's not good enough. Too young. No. He's good to come in to replace someone when we need it. Right now, he may change in time. We don't know, but right now, it's not going to, is it?
19. I think you said it, Saeed, actually, just on Williams. Maybe, he's clearly not a left back. I mean, he has not got a left foot. If he had a left foot, that cross wouldn't have come in. He's all right foot, isn't he?
Yeah, I think I like how Brandon Williams. I think there's a player in there. I just think this is a reality now. Man United don't need a player who's going to be not ready. It's a results game business. It's a reactionary game, and I feel like we just need someone quality now. Man United have had far too long now to messing around, and for that fortunate incident, we need a new left back, isn't it? So Yeah, he's probably going to have to.
I personally would spend 15 million on Jamal Lewis from Norwich, who's left-footed. He's played
There
in the
you
Premier
go.
League. I don't want someone to replace Shaw, but I'd like to have somebody who's left-footed to come in and do a job if Luke Shaw's not there. Saeed, you can start on this one. Well, it wasn't Matic last night. It was Fred. So we're doing the team from last night. Fred?
Yeah, I'm keeping him. I think there's a player in there. I think, you know what? He was our best player before the lockdown. Player of the year he was. And I feel like, I don't know, obviously Ricky has his opinions, but I just feel there's a player in there. He can become a good squad player, very, very valuable player when we're playing a high-press game. And the game against Man City was absolutely brilliant. The game against Chelsea, brilliant. You know what I mean? There's a lot of away games. Man City at home, brilliant. There's a lot of time for Fred in this squad. And I believe with the confidence he's been bringing and the manager to say, listen, you are part of this squad, but you just have to prove it. And he will prove it. So for me, he's in the squad.
Ricky, Fred?
Well, I mean, he's just said he can be part of this squad. I'm not saying he can't be part of this squad, but I thought the question was, can we win the league with these players?
Yeah, I think you can win the league. I think you can win the league with Fred.
No, I don't think so.
Adam?
Yeah, no, I'm sort of on the side of Ricky with that one. I just don't think. I think he's better players than Fred. And my issue with Fred all along is I still don't know where he plays or what his position is. Because last night he's sitting up on the edge of the box and he's just no threat at all. So if he's going to keep pushing Pogba further back, then I don't want him in my team.
I mean, I'm just going to skip through Bruno, Pogba, Martial and Greenwood for different reasons. But for me, they all are part of our future for another year. I don't think we'd kick any of them out unless anybody disagrees. But the one I did want to do is Rashford, because I think, start with you, Adam. Rashford's a funny one. I really do think Rashford's got the talent, but I can't really put my figure. I mean, yesterday, for example, they showed a clip on BT Sports where they showed it back as if it was really good because it was like one of these pirouette turns. And before they showed it back, I was going mad saying there was a 5-yard pass there. BT show it back, and then at the end of the clip, he loses the ball. And I'm like, why are they showing that bit of skill? I mean, and that's the thing for Rashford and me at the moment. He's almost trying too hard.
This is the old, like you were saying then, the British and the English sort of mentality that people jump on because it's big. He's an England player. That same move, he was supposed to roll that ball to the fullback who was on the wing, and he undercooked it. And then his speed pulled himself out of jail. It was like Kyle Walker at the back. He got pulled out of it. He's absolutely shite, but his speed just gets him out of jail. And Rashford got himself out of jail with that. Rashford has got something wrong with his head at the moment. I'm not going to lie. I like Rashford. We all know. I've had many an argument with Ricky about Rashford, but I'm not going to deny what I'm seeing on the pitch. And he has got all the talent in the world, and I still rate him as a player. But something is wrong. His body language is not the same. He looks like he's not interested. He looks like he's not bothered. The frustration last night getting yellow carded just basically compounded everything that I was thinking with Rashford at the moment. He needs taken away. I actually do think he needs taken away out of that team at the moment just because his head is not there. It's completely gone, and I don't know how. And this was going back again because he was brilliant against Crystal Palace, and then from that game, gone.
Yeah. Gone. I wonder if he's doing, I know he's done great things off the pitch, but if you're a footballer who goes into training and then you go home and then you go into training, that's your day, isn't it? He has been getting loads of accolades, loads of interviews. He's been doing the cover of Vogue.
I said this to the boys last night. I think KG said, "What do you mean?" And you know what? I just had the ultimate fear of the Jesse Lingard effect again. With so much going on off the field. Look at Martial. What does he do off the pitch? We don't know because he's a footballer. The Rashford, Lingard, they're always there, aren't they? And I know I'm probably clutching at straws, picking at little things like that, but that's how I look at things. I look at it deep.
Something wrong. You're right. There's
into it. There's something mentally wrong. Something's happened. We've seen Lingard, and we all found out in the end. And I didn't rate Lingard anyway as a player, but the drop-off in standard was dramatic with Lingard. And we knew when we found out he had off-field issues. It does. Even Matic came out this season and said he was already gone. The summertime, Matic was gone. And then he said he built up the trust with Ollie again. And that's when we started seeing him playing. Something happens off the pitch with players, whether it's Rashford not getting the same accolades as what Greenwood has since he's come in, or Martial when he's turned it up to another level this season. I don't know. Is it a bit petulant? Young lad petulance? English. He's obviously been thrown right into the limelight. Top striker for England. Southgate picks him all the time. And now he's sort of like down the pecking order for me in terms of what gets picked. I knew he's the best forward going in the United team. And I just think something's in his head and he's not right. He's not right at all. I would take him out, me. And I love Rashford. Everyone knows. I still think the talent's there going forward, but I just think he needs a break. He needs taking out. He needs disciplining or something like that, whether that sounds harsh or not. I do think there's a player there, but right now, something's not right, and he's definitely not playing well enough to warrant a starting lineup and never be subbed off.
What's your thoughts, Saeed?
Yeah, I think, you know what I mean, the words I said against Newcastle, obviously not the words that I, you know what I mean, that I did, you know what I mean, the personal insults, but I think just the overall play, the way that I think sometimes he fixes Ronaldo, and you know what I mean, it's almost like he's got this persona about him, and I just wanted to play a simple game. I said it from time and time again. If Rashford plays a simple game, I'm telling you now, Rashford is a world beater. Said it here right now. If Rashford plays a simple game, he's a world beater. Because the way he's got the pace, he's got the dribbling ability, he's got the, you know what I mean, the way he can just beat a man, you know what I mean, he's got all the accolades. But what he does is he's trying to think that he's just overthinking too much, and I feel like that will be a big hindrance. Raheem Sterling, but the Guardiola's coached him into that. He's coached him into a top player. Raheem Sterling for me is world class. What Rashford needs to do is learn how to play the basic game and play it simple, and then you'll get the rewards like Raheem Sterling is now. That's the difference for me. Raheem Sterling is on another level, and he's gone up since about 22, 23. This Guardiola coming. Now it's talking about Rashford, can he go up there? Having said all that, I still keep him just because I love the kind of factor he gives us. It gives us something different. That's why I would keep him.
Well, I remember back in, I was just double checking the tweet then actually, because I remember back in November time, Rashford was playing very well, and there was some stat going around that he's got more career goals at this age than Ronaldo had. And, you know, people were on the Rashford hype train. And I was like, this is a prime example of stats meaning fuck all, because if you're telling me that Rashford's comparable to Ronaldo, I've seen Ronaldo at this age, and Rashford's nowhere near. And maybe there's something in that. I mean, I like Rashford. And I'm really interested to see what you're going to say, Ricky, because maybe there is. I think Adam might have hit on something there. Maybe Rashford, and we're all clutching at straws because we don't know what the issue is, but maybe, you know, he's not stupid. He's very entwined with social media. I've had his management company replying to my tweets so that they are keeping an eye out. And maybe, you know, Greenwood is clearly a more talented player than Rashford. Martial is clearly a better player. I think if Martial was English, Rashford would be very much second place. I think the English thing helps Rashford a lot. I like Rashford, but there's definitely an issue at the moment.
To go back to the very beginning of what we said, can we win a league with each individual player? I would say no, you can't win the league with Marcus Rashford playing every week in your team. Definitely not. But since we've been speaking more generally about the players and what they can and can't do, don't forget he was supposed to be a centre forward, wasn't he? And Ollie himself was quoted as saying that he's not doing very well with his back to goal, and we're working on it. He also said in a different interview that we're working on getting into the box and scoring the scruffy goals. He don't get on the end of chances in the box. I asked the question at the time, generally when you're a footballer, when you're 12, you do the things well against 12-year-olds that you're still going to be doing well when you're 19 against 19-year-olds, or when you're a professional, you do it as a professional. So it strikes me that a player has come through our ranks who isn't very good with his back to goal and isn't very good at scoring scruffy goals and has got into our first team, and I don't understand it. I really don't understand it.
I don't understand. He never was a centre forward. He was a winger in the youth system. I remember watching him constantly. So for someone to maybe turn his head, trying to turn him into a striker that he's not, he hasn't got the attributes to play with his back to goal. We know that. He's a winger. It's as simple as. And
Ollie did say these things.
He should be doing too much.
He hasn't got where I fall. He's a winger at the moment, though, has he?
Sorry?
He hasn't got the attributes.
He doesn't know what. It's like he doesn't know what he's doing. Is he going in? Is he playing his wing? But all through his youth, Ricky touched on it then. I watched endless games, and he was a winger. He came from the wing and came in.
Luke Shaw, you know.
Can I just
massively misses Luke Shaw?
When I watch him play on the left wing, which is clearly his favoured side, You know, he cuts in to try and get shots in quite often, but he's struggling to get shots in, and he also can't go past the man on the left wing. It's like I just said about their fullback last night, got to the line and pulled it back. He can't get to the line and pull it back. You know, you could probably think of one or two occasions, but when you say one or two occasions, I'm talking all season. You know what I mean? He can't get to the line and pull it back with his left foot.
I wonder if his injury might be something to do with it as well, you know, because what I've noticed, no one's mentioned it yet.
He wasn't doing that before he got injured, Mark.
No. But what I'm saying is,
I remember him actually tearing Tottenham apart down that wing, Ricky, mate. So he was doing it. He was definitely doing it.
Whether he's doing that or not, what he was doing and what I've noticed he hasn't done for a few weeks now is he was all action. He would be back in left wing back. He would be up at the top. I don't think he's tracking back anywhere near as much. I don't think he doesn't look as super. Yeah, he used to remind me a bit of Rooney, not in relation to talent, but his work ethic was relentless, and his work ethic, it just seems I don't know. I mean, the thing is though, you just don't know. Ollie overplays players. No. Ollie will play players into the ground, and Marcus Rashford's a young lad who wants to play. That injury, Van Persie said, that injury really, you could be out for a year. It's all about you have to tell them when you're ready, because no one can tell how much pain you're in. If Marcus Rashford says, I'm ready, the fitness test can say he's ready, but actually the injury is such a weird injury. He might still be carrying something.
I tell you what, the way that's one thing I said last night as well. I think he's in at Feyenoord at the moment, but the way Van Persie speaks, he'd be a good acquisition in our coaching setup him for strikers, because that man talks complete sense going forward. He would change our forward line mentality. I know Ollie is Ollie and what he's done, but he needs to concentrate on being the manager of the football club. To get a team around him, that would be someone I'd love to get in at United, just for that experience and know-how going forwards. He just talks complete sense. He says what we're all thinking all the time, Van Persie. And I think that's the last out-and-out striker that we had at the club.
Yeah,
for me, Rooney wasn't even that for me.
Can I have one quick 1 minute on the semi-finals that you was talking about? I couldn't get in when you was talking about the semis.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's so simple. It's unbelievable. Ollie has not picked his strongest team in these games. I think Matic should have played last night, but forget that one. We won't go through that again. But then against Chelsea in the FA Cup, he left Pogba and Marshall out, brought them both on when it was going wrong. And from the strength of the rest of the team that he picks, he clearly wanted to win, and he clearly wanted to win by who he brought on as subs. So why not just, if you want to win it that badly, why not just start with your strongest team? Pogba and Marshall should have been playing in that game. So he made a mistake. I think he made a mistake last night. I think he made a mistake against Chelsea. And then talking about Matic last night, let's go back to the League Cup semi. He left Matic on the bench against City. We was 3-0 down at half time. We brought him on. We got beat 3-2. Do you know what I mean? You couldn't make it up.
Yeah,
fine margins, isn't it?
I think, I do think there's so many players, and I said this morning, when Mourinho bought Pogba's, Zlatan, Mkhitaryan and Bailly, I remember after 6 months, everyone was like, oh, he's a genius. These signings are brilliant. And after a year, it was like, oh, I don't know. And after 18 months, the three of them are flops. And I saw it the same at Christmas. Everyone's like, oh, Dan James, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, they're brilliant. And now everyone's going, they're shit. But I'm not. What I'm saying is next season is a big year for Maguire. It's a big one for Wan-Bissaka. It's a big one for Dan James. It's a big one for Ollie. Everyone's got a big. Have your little break now, because the only thing that's getting you out of the only thing that's getting them out of jail is third place, which is good. Well done. If you'd have finished fifth, they'd have been in a lot of problems this year, because we would have been back in the Europa League. I mean, it was a fine margin between fifth and third. So I applaud them for getting third. I think there's a lot of good things this year, but they are on trial next season from the manager all the way down.
Yeah, because if he's happy with his squad come start of next season in 4 weeks it is. If Ollie comes out and said he's happy with his squad, then he's the only one to blame. Only one to blame. He has to take everything that's coming his way if he comes out with that. And I've noticed he has come out and said that we need to invest to get back up there and challenge. I've noticed a little change in tack in the way he's done his interviews. I think even he is going to realise now that, what's this, his 4th window, is it now?
Well, he
Something
nearly
like
lost
that.
his job, Adam, didn't he? He said last summer, he said, I'm happy with this team. And to be honest with you, he nearly got sacked after that Burnley game. So if he comes out again and he's back in that position in January, he'll be gone.
He's gone. He's gone.
Yeah,
he's got
to get Pochettino. Then we get Pochettino.
He has to have realised.
Poch will
be gone by then. Poch will be gone by then.
Have you seen this, by the way, guys? Pochettino is still waiting.
PSG.
Because it's coming. He's coming, guys. Just be careful.
PSG
relax.
Coach.
Do you reckon?
Anyway, go on, Ricky.
Sorry, I just said, do you reckon?
Nah, he ain't going. He's going to PSG, he is. Anyway, look, we'll end it there. We started early because we wanted to finish a bit early tonight. So we did 7:30 till 8:30, ran over a little bit. But round robin, Adam, happy birthday to Adam, by the way.
Happy birthday.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I get carried away there. Mad Red United on YouTube, Adam Matic on Twitter. Just catch me on any of them people.
Saeed?
Yeah, United Central on YouTube and at realist_187 on Twitter.
And Ricky?
Rick the Red UK on Twitter.
Cheers. And I know KG's desperate to get on this show, but he does his show with Flex tomorrow lunchtime, so you can check that out. And we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the news show as well. But look, I've been looking forward to this all day because I've not been happy today. I'm sure a lot of you aren't happy as well. So it's good to just digest some of what's been said. And for me, I just can't wait. I'm a bit disappointed we're going to take an extra week off because I just want to get back and start playing again. I think that's the best way after a bad result is get back on the horse, isn't it? So I hope the next few weeks goes quick and I hope we get some transfer business done. But thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. Big shout out to the guests and we'll speak to you soon.